Xi leaves China for first time since COVID pandemic began to meet Putin.
Here's a summary of the article.
London, Beijing, September 11. Xi Jinping will leave China this week for the first time in more than 2 years for a trip to Central Asia where he will meet Vladimir Putin just a month before Xi is poised to cement his place as the most powerful Chinese leader since Mao Zedong. The trip, his first abroad since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, shows just how confident Xi is about his grip on power in China and just how perilous the global situation has become. Russia's confrontation with the West over Ukraine, the crisis over Taiwan and a stuttering global economy. Putin's foreign policy aide, Yuri Ushakov, told reporters last week that Putin was expected to meet Xi at the summit. While Xi has met Putin in person 38 times since becoming China's president in 2013, he has yet to meet Joe Biden in person since the latter became U.S. president in 2021. Xi last met Putin in February, just weeks before the Russian president ordered the invasion of Ukraine, which has left tens of thousands of people dead and sown chaos through the global economy. The bigger message really isn't that Xi is supporting Putin, because it's been pretty clear that Xi supports Putin, said Professor Steve Sang, director of the China Institute at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London. The bigger signal is that he, Xi Jinping, is going out of China for the first time since the pandemic in the run-up to the party congress. If there were going to be plottings against him, this is when the plottings would happen. And he's clearly confident that the plottings are not going to take place because he is out of the country. As Europe seeks to turn away from Russian energy imports, Putin will seek to boost energy exports to China and Asia. He will also hold three-way Russian-Chinese summit with Mongolia, a potentially much shorter route for Russian energy from western Siberia to China.
This post received a score of 31,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Could you imagine the size of the room where that table would actually fit?
Works are underway to build a table from Moscow to Beijing.
Anything that table touches is technically part of Russia but is de facto owned by China. With the state of the ruble, I'd imagine everything is made in China. Maybe that's why they're meeting, so Putin can surrender economically.
They will no doubt claim their new energy deal will solve both their problems right this instance, even though building a new pipeline or establishing oil terminals for delivery by sea will take the better part of a decade. This is likely exactly what the visit is about, and probably about the transactions being in RMB or something instead of USD. China isn't super happy about the whole war deal, but China is always concerned about what's best for China. And right now that's securing cheap oil and gas from Russia while they have a serious upper hand in negotiations. Too bad the cheap Russian gas that goes into the Power of Siberia pipeline comes from stations built and operated by the West and have been abandoned by the Western companies. To get the oil and gas into China that is now connected to the West, Russia needs to build 3,000 miles of pipelines through very difficult terrain. Russia also does not have a deep water port to really operate giant oil tankers. That would have been either Odessa or Sevastopol, and it does not look like Russia can hold either, let alone operate them uncontested by hostile military. Meaning that if the plan was all along to stop delivering energy to the West and form an autocratic alliance between Russia and China, then that plan hinged on Russia controlling parts of Ukraine all along.
Venezuela's oil output has fallen by something like 90% ever since Western oil companies were forced out. Good luck, Russia.
Consider this. The price of oil is approaching $85 a barrel. If China gets a consideration of paying 2/3 market price, it is probably close to or below Russia's break-even price. Gas prices will come down, and this might be the same thing for Russia. The glory days of oil and gas money are over for Russia.
Russia's fiscal break-even price was apparently $69 per barrel in 2021. So yeah, if China can negotiate a 20+% discount, Russia's budget goes into the red.
Xi can't be happy with him. Western military influence was on a decline and NATO looked weak, not military personnel, equipment but the unification, politics behind it, before Putin invaded Ukraine for the second time. Now NATO is stronger than ever, has grown. Russia's military might has been shown to be nothing more than propaganda. China in turn will likely be asked to supply weapons and equipment, making their own stockpiles weaker while emboldening American support for places like Taiwan.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.